Holy cannoli, what the heck? Let's freaking go. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Oh look, there he goes. Hello everyone, I've just watched, well, technically watched it the night before, but I just watched it. Haven't watched anything since. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the sequel to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which basically set off the multiverse for all the comic book movies. And all comic book movies, all movies are about the multiverse now. Sorry, and it's all Into the Spider-Verse's fault. This is the much anticipated sequel to the original, which blew away animation-wise, story-wise, voice acting-wise, everybody. And this one did the same thing. I was impressed how well it was. Like, it might be one of the best sequels of all time. So yeah, let me just run through a couple of voice actors in this. Shameik Moore is obviously back as Miles Morales. Haley Steinfeld's back as Gwen Stacy. You got Oscar Isaac as Miguel O'Hara, another Spider-Man variant. You have Daniel Kaluuya as Spider-Punk. You have Brian Tyree Henry's back. Luna Lauren Velez is back. Jake Johnson. Jason Schwartzman. Issa Rae. But you have a lot of people. There's just a lot of people. And if I name them all, that would be half of the review. And I'm not going to do that. But there are also cameos. Ben Reilly, Andy Samberg. Just a good little thing. But you get some other crazy cameos in this movie that basically just says, yeah, it's all connected. MCU, Sonyverse, Venomverse, it's all the same. The comic books. But what this sequel is about is it's through the lens of Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales, but it's about Miguel O'Hara trying to basically stitch back together the multiverse and make sure that nothing goes wrong. I'm trying not to spoil because there's like some huge spoilers in this, but Miguel O'Hara is tasked with leading all of the Spider-Men and women and people and horses and animals and what kind of variant you can think of exists into just like protecting each universe from anomalies, which is directly related to the MCU multiverse. So it's not saying they're the same, but it's saying these anomalies and the incursion events, it's all connected. So yeah, it's about that, but more importantly, it's about Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales trying to find that connection with each other, that they have this lost sense of like connection and they want to reconnect. Obviously they do in the movie, but it has, you know, it brings up some issues. And man, what a wonderful movie. Like, I went in watching one trailer, I think, just the teaser trailer, read nothing about this, so I was going in, no spoilies whatsoever, and it just blew my mind. This animated film is so tense, especially near the end. There's just so much tension and so much ramping up that it just is going 100 million miles per hour. It feels like Mad Max Fury Road, but if you made an animated movie. And this movie is great because it takes the idea of Spider-Man, the story, you know, like with great responsibility comes great power, and with great loss comes great power. And it's all about, you know, Spider-Man's story is always about losing someone closest to you or losing someone that you have adoration for and then losing them. And this plays with that idea. It decontextualizes it, recontextualizes it, and then reconstructs it. So it's basically the same story of No Way Home, but it's saying like, well, no, maybe you don't always have to go through that sad loss to be Spider-Man. Maybe fighting for that person, even if you lose them, is the story of Spider-Man. Despite everything, he or she or they or whatever will always be optimistic and hopeful for the future, regardless of the outcome. Regardless if you lose Uncle Ben, Uncle Aaron, Aunt May, a chief captain, police captain, or whatever, you're gonna lose some people, But at the end of the day, you can't stop being Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Gwen Stacy, whoever. Whoever is the spider person, you can't give up hope. No matter how hard the world is, no matter what's being thrown at you. And that's just a wonderful story for kids, teenagers, adults, anybody to hear. And everyone connects to Spider-Man in some kind of way. And I feel like he is, since the 80s to now, he's the new Superman. Spider-Man's the new Superman. And I know it's tough for a lot of people to probably hear that, but it's true. I mean, Spider-Man is the zeitgeist. He is the superhero. People so badly want it to be Batman, but I think Spider-Man is the true new Superman who everyone can relate to, because guess what? There's multiple versions of Spider-Man, and they all exist to tell you the same story. Keep fighting. Yeah, you may make mistakes. Yeah, you may lose some friends along the way. But as long as you're a good person and you keep fighting for what's good, you will prevail. You may, yeah, and there may be some hard moments to talk about this in the movie, but man, I could probably just talk about that part of Spider-Man forever and ever. But also the animation in this is really crazy. There are some parts where I was like, too much is happening on the screen. There's just visual overload. But I think that was the point, because Miles and Gwen are going through such crazy things in their life while also dealing with like a multiversal crisis. I will say Gwen's world is perhaps the coolest presentation in the movie, because she's going through some stuff with her father, and it's like watercolor. Like when she has that realization, there's like the palette of everything is just so her colors, but at the same time it's like everything's bleeding together and changing colors, because she's going through such a hard time trying to be Spider-Gwen and also be a daughter to her father. And it's just such great stuff. And then obviously Spider-Punk and everybody, and Ben Reilly and all them. All the cameos are great. It's just, and it's funny that they take a villain of the week and make him this all-destructive, evil, bad guy of all bad guys. And I think that's what's great about Spider-Man is he has the biggest roster of bad guys to fight. You know, he's obviously got your Venoms and your Green Goblins and your Vultures and Kraven and all that. But then you get stuff like The Spot, and you get Shocker and all these B-level villains that a Spider-Man story can elevate up here. That's what Superman's missing. In this new era, he's missing the truly complicated evil person. Like, Superman's the paragon of true virtue and greatness and yada yada. He needs the exact opposite, and he never gets that. Yeah, Zod kinda maybe, but we haven't seen that yet. In Spider-Man, you get these people who are lost, and he is trying to save them. So it's a great parallel, and I just can't talk enough about this. The music is great. I love everyone gets their own little special themes, and this movie just blew me away. And it had a better cliffhanger than Fast X did. Fast X, at the end of the movie when there was a cliffhanger, I was like, geez Louise, you could have just wrapped this up. But at the end of this movie, when there was a cliffhanger, I was like, I could sit here and watch another 3-hour movie. It's that good. It is insane how good it is. And the writing is a good mix of Spider-Man's quippiness with the heart and emotion that we've known to come and love. It ties everything together. Oh, it's just so good. I'm gonna give this 10 out of 10 spots. It is that good. You will go into this, if you love Spider-Man, you're gonna come out loving it. If you love animated movies, you're gonna come out loving it. If you don't really like superhero stuff, but you saw Into the Spider-Verse and was like, wow, this is really cool, great animation, I think you're gonna be even more, wow, this is cool animation. It is amazing. I could try to undersell it to you, but I'm not going to do that to you. Go watch this movie. It is amazing, crazy, insane, frenetic, tension to the max. Just, you could cut it with a knife, as they say. 10 out of 10 spots. Go watch this thing.
Un esercito di prodi